That's it! Welcome to the Undaunted.
Hey guys, I'm Vince Luca, and today we're going to be doing some Undaunted. So this is for newer players. I think most of you veterans know what Undaunted is, but for the new players, or for those of you who have just reached level 50 and want to do some Undaunted stuff, I'll show you what it is. So what you want to do is go to your first town, or your main town. So for me it's in Glenumbra, and it's Daggerfall. And what you want to do is go to the inn or the tavern of that first town. And here you're going to find a band of adventurers who are going to give you some quests, daily quests. And these quests are really good for some nice loot. So I'm going to show you where they are exactly. It might be a little bit different for your inn depending on which starting town you are. But for me, in the Rosy Lion, they're gonna be over here, and I'm pretty sure that every table looks the same. It's gonna be a table like this with the Undaunted crew, and I don't have an arrow here, a quest arrow, because I already did it, but you might see a black crest arrow.
That's it! Welcome to the Undaunted. Now go make old Mordra proud.
So once you do the Undaunted quest, I think you have to be level 45 to do these, so make sure you're at least level 45, and you're gonna go to your capital city for your alliance. So for me it's Stormhaven. If you are Ebonheart Pact, then it's gonna be here in Mournhold, and it actually looks like an acorn kind of looking thing. So if you're part of the Elmeri Dominion, it's going to be at the bottom of that huge tree in Grathwood right here. So if you go to the tree, and then at the bottom here you're going to see the acorn icon. So I'm just going to travel to mine and show you what it actually looks like. It's basically a base camp for the Undaunted, and it's outside of the city walls in most of them. So just gonna mark it and run there to show you where it is. And it looks like a black tent with a skull of a mammoth or something there. So you'll see these Undaunted banners here, and a bunch of players here obviously doing some Undaunted or looking for other players who want to do Undaunted, but you don't have to do any of that searching for players thing for this. You have this guy here. He can give you a quest, a daily quest as well, and these are solo quests, so you don't even need to do a group for those ones. And as you're doing the mission, eventually you're going to come to this book here, and they're going to tell you to sign it. So you'll sign your name in here, and you'll become part of the Undaunted. And once that's done, you'll be able to accept 3 different daily quests from these NPCs in these camps. And so I'm going to show you in my journal here, under quests, I have Undaunted pledges. So these are the 3 pledges that you can get every day from the Undaunted. And I'm going to just abandon these quests just so I could show you the 3 of today and where the NPCs are. So one of them is going to be over here. It might be a little bit different again depending on which home alliance you are, but you just have to ask her what's the pledge, and you accept. So you pledge that you can do this quest, and you're going to do that for all 3. I'm going to come here. What's the pledge for today? I pledge. Okay. And it's going to be mostly go into the dungeon and kill the bosses of those dungeons. So I'm going to pledge with this guy here. And now you have 3 quests. So what you want to do at this point is go in your journal, and under quest, go see what your pledges are. And try to remember the name of each one. So Blessed Crucible, Imperial City Prison, and Wayrest Sewers. So these are the 3 pledges, basically dungeons that I have to do. And the easiest way to do these is by going to Activity Finder, Dungeon Finder, Specific Dungeons, and put a check mark on the ones that are part of your 3 missions. So the Sewers, Blessed Crucible, and the other one I think was Imperial City Prison. So once you have all 3, join the queue, and it's going to throw you randomly into one of these 3 dungeons. So make sure you have your correct role, and sometimes you won't be thrown in right away. You're going to have to wait the queue, especially if you're DPS, you're going to wait a long time. So what I recommend is go check out some legendary items in guild shops that are around, and you never know, you might find something worth it. Like here you got the Grave Dancer Mace for $500. That's just a style, but I already have it in my collection. If I didn't have it, I would definitely buy that. 500 gold, I mean. So 500 gold for a Grave Dancer Mace, that's pretty cool. Bewitched Sugar Skulls, those are always good food. So most of these I already have in my collection, those pages. And if you want, you could just go to search and do just write page in the search, and it's going to show you all the yellow legendary pages, and most of them are really cheap here. So I got lucky in this guild store, but most of them are already in my collection. So what I'm going to do is just browse really quickly until I see a green line, and a green line means that it's not in my collection. So this is 3,000 gold for a belt. I usually wouldn't buy it, but I'm only buying it so I don't see that green line anymore when I'm scrolling. So I'm just gonna buy it. And then there's one here. So what's this? Gloves for 4,000 gold. That's not bad. You know, you could even preview it, see if I mean 4,000 is a lot for gloves. 4,000 gold is good for the actual body piece, but the add-ons like shoulder pads and stuff like that, 4,000, 5,000 is a little much, so don't buy those. So as you can see, queuing might take a while, so just do some shopping until you see this. So it's ready and you could accept, and that's going to throw you in one of the 3 dungeons that you chose. So in this case, they threw me in the Wayrest Sewers, and you're going to do this dungeon with 3 other players. You don't have to have your mic, you don't have to have your headset on or anything like that. These aren't veteran dungeons, they're just regular dungeons. And don't forget to put on any XP bonus that you might have before completing a dungeon. If you have an XP bonus scroll or something like that, just put it on before starting the dungeon. And what I like to do also is go check out the group and see if there's anybody that's really low level. So we got one person here, level 30. So what I'm going to do is add him to my guild, Lion Claw, because I like to help out new players. So I just added him to my guild. So now you know that 1 out of the 4 players here are low level, and if you're starting off, then you're going to also be a low level. But as you can see, this person here is only level 30 with us, so he's not doing Undaunted, he's just doing maybe a random dungeon or whatever. And you're going to see that he probably won't even die. So don't worry about jumping in these at really low level. Also, you want to make sure that the Sewers pledge is activated in your quest so that you could follow along and make sure that you're actually doing that pledge. So here it says kill Vorane, and I'm actually killing Vorane. So I'm 100% sure that I'm doing the right dungeon and I won't be wasting my time. So once you kill the last boss, it's going to tell you return to your quest giver for your reward. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to be talking about the rewards that you get for doing these Undaunted missions. So I'm going to return to the NPC who gave me the sewer mission, and I'm going to tell her that I completed it, and I'm going to ask her if she has my reward. And most of the time, or all of the time, you'll get a Undaunted key. And this key is useful for opening coffers that she sells, or the other two also sell. So you could also go into her store and see what she sells, and I'm going to explain a little bit what it is. But before going into that, I have to show you in my inventory exactly what it is. So it's going to be the shoulder pad of a monster set. Monster sets are pieces of helmet and shoulder pads sets. You only need 2 to complete this set. So once you have both items, you have a complete set, and you'll have that special ability. So the 2 items are your helmet and your shoulder. Now you could buy the shoulder pads from these vendors using keys, and to get the head, I'll show you later on after we explain first the shoulders, and then we'll talk about how to get the head. But these are called monster sets, and you could also get them in light, heavy, or medium. So it's going to be completely random depending on which one you get. You might have to farm a little bit to get light if you really want light, or heavy or medium. You're gonna have to farm a little bit. You can't buy these items, you can't trade these items. The only way to get them is to do these Undaunted and get the keys. So let's go see what these coffers look like. So I'm gonna go talk to her, and I have 30 keys, and these coffers cost 5 each, and each one of these has a chance of giving you 1 of 2 of the shoulder pads. So for this one, if you buy this one, once you open it, you might get Shadowrend or Maw of the Infernal. And these are, again, shoulder pads. See the little ore over there between both sets. So like you have Sentinel here, or the Engine Guardian. So you could buy this one if you're looking for those 2 shoulder pads, and you're going to get a 50-50 chance of which one of those you get. And on top of that, the randomness of it being light, medium, or heavy is also random. So you have no idea what you're getting in these. And then you have this one that costs only 1 key and gives you a random shoulder pad from any of those boxes. So this is completely random. You have no idea which one you're getting. And I'll tell you why I like those boxes more than the 5 key boxes. Later on I'll explain. But let's take a look at what this guy's selling here. He's got 2 different shoulder pads, again, in each coffer. Troll King here, Ice Heart. So you could read these and see if there's any that you really want. Or what I'm going to show you what to do with your first key. Once you have your first key, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get a fun monster set right off the bat with only 1 key. This one, I think she has a lot of DLC dungeon stuff. So if you have DLC dungeons and you want to get specific things from her, you might have to get the DLC of that dungeon or the expansion pack or wherever that dungeon is. I think she's the one that has most of those. So she's also a shop, so you could go sell your stuff, you could repair, which is really practical when you're doing all 3 of the dungeons, because your inventory is gonna go up pretty quickly. So what I'm gonna do now is show you with 1 key what you can do, and what I suggest you do actually, if you're a first time player doing these Undaunted, is go to the store and with your 1 key buy the random box, which is the blue one, and it's going to give you a random shoulder piece. And I'll show you why, because I actually spent once, I think it was like 30 or 35 keys on one of these, and I still didn't get the one that I actually wanted. So if I would have spent 30 keys times that random box, I probably would have got it. So I like to buy the 1 key ones instead of the 5 key ones. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Sometimes you get a little bonus. Here I got a ring as well, so a harmony ring. and that's used for crafting and researching. You get 2 soul gems, and this is the Shadowrend's shoulder pad. I got a heavy version, so as you can see that was random, and I don't have it in my collection, which is fun. So as soon as I pick it up, it's gonna bind to me, because you can't buy or sell any of these. As soon as you pick them up, they're bound to your character, and it's part of the 2-piece set. And I'm going to show you how to get the helmet. So what you want to do is, once you pick it up, go to your collections, up here, and your set items, and look for that logo for the new stuff that you just acquired. It's basically a circle with exclamation point. That's going to tell you just got something here, and it's right here. Shadowrend Pauldron shoulder pads, basically. And now you know that the shoulder pad comes from the Banished Cells dungeon. So if you want the helmet, you have to do the dungeon in Activity Finder. And for this one, make sure your group role is correct. If you're new to this, just put it on DPS. And make sure you're on veteran here. So you have to change to veteran. You won't get the helmet on normal mode, so you're gonna have to go to veteran and then go to the Banished Cells on veteran, because that's where the shoulder pads are, which means that's where the helmet is. And what you want to do is queue up for that. And again, if the queue takes long, go check out the guild shops, buy some stuff, and eventually it's gonna give you a little notification that it's ready. So you want to jump in and do the same thing you did as before. Now when you see this shield watermark here, that means it's a veteran dungeon, so you're on the right path. And a veteran dungeon isn't that bad. It's not as tough as it looks. It's just the enemies are have more HP, do a little bit more damage, so you just have to be a little bit more careful. Make sure you allocate some time to complete a veteran dungeon. Make sure you have a good half hour at least, or 2 hour, 1 hour if you're new, but you should be okay. And what's cool is that every time you kill a boss in a veteran dungeon like this one here, you'll get the purple version of the set piece of that dungeon instead of the blue one. And then when you kill the final boss, pick up his stuff and you'll get the helmet. So in this case I got the Visage of Shadowrend, and I'm gonna show you an example of what it is when you put both of them on. So for this one, it was the Shadowrend's Visage, which I just got off that boss. That's the helmet, part 1 of 2, and part 2 is the shoulder pads of the same name, Shadowrend. And once I equip that, I unlock this new ability, which is when you take damage, you summon a shadowy clanfear for 15 seconds. It attacks, does a few damage, and it also applies minor maim to whatever it is attacking. So let me go see if I could find maybe a bad guy here somewhere on the beach. There's usually people here to fight. Oh, there's a chest here. My chest is glowing because I have a skill that makes chest glow. But here's a bad guy. So when he damages me, according to my set, there's a little shadow clanfear that's going to appear there and attack him. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice little monster set there. And this is something you can do if you're level 45 or higher. Super easy with 1 key. I did 1 dungeon, so I'm sure you could do it too if you want a monster set. It's as easy as that. And a bonus is that Undaunted also comes with a skill line, and the skill line has really useful skills to personalize your playstyle. I'm gonna go in and show you some. So you got this blood altar, which is good for healers. You sacrifice your health to heal others. You have webs that slow down a bunch of players. That's really good in PvP. Inner Fire is good for tanks. It's more of a taunting ability, and what's cool is that it actually tells you roll tank, which is really fun, that they added this little roll tank icon here, which is pretty cool. Spiked Bones is really good as well in PvP. It redirects damage to the attacker. Then you got Necrotic Orb. These orbs are super popular. You'll see a bunch of these in trials and stuff floating around. And you have these passive abilities, which are amazing. You don't have to have any of the Undaunted stuff equipped to actually have this passive ability. So right now I have like 4% bonus to my max health, stamina, and magicka just for having Undaunted. So this is really useful, and I suggest everybody who is playing the game to go get it. And as a final tip, guys, super important, I almost just deconstructed my mask. And if you don't want to do that by accident, lock it. Lock your monster set pieces, because they're rare, they're hard to get, especially if, you know, you wanted a medium and you did get a medium. Make sure to lock it, lock the helmet, lock the shoulder pads, and you won't destroy it by accident. So, I mean, just make sure there's a lock item there. All right, and
That's it. Welcome to the Undaunted.
thanks for watching, and hope you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'll show you what a golden vendor is.